Have you ever really thought about having, you know, a reason to jump out of bed in the morning? It sounds maybe a bit cliche.
Yeah, like something off a motivational poster.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But that phrase, it's actually the most common way to translate a really practical Japanese idea.
Ikigai. And let's be honest, for a lot of us, the reason is probably just the alarm clock, right? Or a looming deadline.
True.
But if you're looking for maybe a genuine blueprint for a life that's not just long, but also happy and fulfilling, one that really challenges our whole Western idea of working towards this finish line of retirement,
Then you're definitely in the right place.
we are doing a deep dive into this fascinating book, Ikigai, The Japanese Secret to a Long and Happy Life.
And what's really key here, I think, is where the authors got their information. Hector Garcia and Francesc Mirel, they didn't just sit in an office and theorize.
No, they went straight to the source.
They traveled to Okinawa in Japan, specifically to this village called Ogimi. And Ogimi is what they call a blue zone.
Which means it's world famous for having this incredibly high number of centenarians, people living active lives past 100.
Wow.
So what we're doing today is sort of blending that ancient Japanese wisdom they observed with, practical insights from modern positive psychology.
Think of this deep dive as distilling the practical steps these incredibly long-lived people actually use day in, day out to live with purpose well into their 90s and beyond.
It's pretty inspiring stuff.
Okay, so let's start with the core idea itself, Ikigai. The book often shows it as a Venn diagram, right?
Yeah.
It's become quite popular.
That's right. And it's popular, I think, because it really emphasizes balance. It's not just about following your passion or only doing what you're good at. It's about finding where several things overlap.
So you need all the pieces if one is missing.
Exactly. If you miss one of those circles in the diagram, you end up with something else. Maybe it's just a hobby, or perhaps it's a job that pays well, but ultimately feels a bit empty.
Okay, so break down those 4 circles for us. What needs to overlap?
All right, so first circle, what you love. That's your passion. Simple enough.
Okay.
Second, what you are good at. That's your vocation, your skills.
Got it.
Third is what the world needs. That's your mission, where you can contribute.
Right.
And the fourth one is what you can be paid for, your profession.
And Ikigai is smack bang in the middle where all 4 meet.
That's the idea. That intersection is where you find that reason for being.
Okay, but I have to ask about that last one, what you can be paid for. Doesn't that feel a little, well, cynical? Does tying it to money potentially undermine the whole philosophy?
That's a really common question and a fair one. It does seem a bit jarring next to passion and mission.
Yeah.
But what the authors found in Okinawa really sheds light on this. For the elders they spoke to, the point wasn't finding some high-flying career just so they could retire from it later. The whole concept of retirement as we know it, completely stopping all work or contribution, it seemed pretty foreign to them.
So it's less about chasing a paycheck to eventually stop doing things,
Right.
and more about finding activities you enjoy that are valuable maybe to your community that you actually want to keep doing, even if the payment isn't huge in monetary terms.
Precisely. Their ikigai naturally leads to this state of lifelong, joyful engagement. They're still deeply involved maybe through crafts or farming or community roles well into their later years. They don't stop feeling needed or engaged.
That idea of lasting necessity, feeling needed your whole life, that's powerful.
It really is.
And it leads us nicely into the next part, the really practical, observable habits the authors found in Ogimi. The sort of anti-aging secrets, if you like.
Yeah, these are things you can actually see and potentially do.
Yep.
Habit number 1 really reinforces what we just talked about. Stay active, don't retire.
Yeah.
And we're not talking about hitting the gym hard every day. It's about consistent, ongoing engagement. They saw people gardening, farming, doing intricate crafts well into their 80s and 90s.
So the goal is just keep moving, keep doing.
Keep moving, keep creating, keep using your mind and body. A life without purpose, a sedentary life that's seen as the real enemy of longevity.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay, what's habit number 2? It's about eating, right?
Yes. This one's fascinating. It's about mindful eating based on a Confucian teaching called Hara Hachibu.
Hara Hachibu, what does that mean?
It basically advises you to stop eating when you feel about 80% full.
80%. Not completely full.
Right. It's this conscious choice to avoid overeating, which we know stresses the body, the digestive system, and contributes to a lot of age-related issues. It's about keeping the body light, the mind clear.
Okay, the 80% rule sounds great. We know caloric restriction has benefits. But in today's world, with huge portions and food designed to make us eat more.
Yeah.
How do the authors say people actually learn to notice that 80% signal? It feels tricky.
It does, and they emphasize mindfulness. It really involves slowing down the whole eating process, like really chewing your food properly, maybe putting your fork down between bites.
Using smaller plates, maybe?
Exactly. Using smaller dishes helps trick the eye. It gives your body's fullness signals, which are often a bit delayed, time to catch up with how much you've actually eaten. It's turning eating into more of a ritual, less of a quick refuel.
Okay, mindful eating. Habit 3, tackle something else fundamental. Connection. The moai.
Yes, the moai. This is so important. A moai is much more than just, a group of friends you hang out with sometimes.
It's deeper than that.
Much deeper. It's described as this crucial, often lifelong social network. Groups often form in childhood and they stick together. And this network provides serious support, not just emotional comfort, but actually financial help too if someone in the group falls on hard times.
Wow, that's something else. It really makes you think about how few of us, especially if we move around for jobs, have that kind of guaranteed, baked-in support system anymore. Our networks feel more spread out, maybe less reliable in a crisis.
Absolutely. And the Okinawans see this reliable, deep community as fundamental for health. Reducing stress, providing that profound sense of belonging, it's considered just as vital as what they eat or how much they move.
Community is medicine. Okay, what about the last habit? The book mentions, take it slow, smile, and be kind. It sounds, well, also a bit soft compared to the others.
It might sound soft, yeah, but you could argue it's the bedrock supporting everything else. That hurried, stressed out, always rushing pace that many of us live at. It's just fundamentally at odds with the kind of long, healthy lives they lead in Okinawa.
So they just operate at a different speed.
A much more relaxed, measured pace, it seems. And that general positive outlook, being cheerful, those small, everyday acts of kindness, they aren't just nice add-ons. They seem to be woven into the very fabric of daily life.
Okay, so these habits, activity, mindful eating, community, a slower pace, they all seem to build towards a certain mental strength or resilience. Let's shift to the psychology behind this. I'm thinking about that feeling of being totally absorbed in something, where time just disappears.
Right. And this is where the book cleverly connects the Okinawan experience with this well-known psychological conduct, flow, which was pioneered by Mihaly Csikszentmihalyi.
Flow, being in the zone.
Exactly. The argument in the book is that the activities that represent your Ikigai, those are very often the exact activities that put you into that flow state, that feeling of complete immersion, energized focus, where you're so into the process that everything else just fades away.
And achieving flow isn't just luck, is it? The book gives some guidelines.
No, it's not accidental. There are conditions. You generally need a clear goal for what you're doing. You need to be able to focus entirely on the process itself, not obsessing about the end result. And crucially, there needs to be this balance between how challenging the task is and your current skill level.
Balance is key.
Totally. Too much challenge for your skill, you get anxiety. Too little challenge, you get bored. But when the challenge and your skills are perfectly matched, that's the sweet spot for flow, for real engagement and improvement.
That connection makes a lot of sense. But let's push on that friction point again. What if the activity that gets you into flow, the thing you love and are good at, isn't the thing currently paying the bills? How does the book reconcile that?
It addresses this through the idea of mastery. The suggestion is to keep pursuing the activity that generates flow, just for its own sake initially. Because being in flow accelerates your learning, your skill development. It leads towards mastery.
And the idea is that mastery itself eventually attracts opportunities.
That seems to be the thinking. That excellence, born from that deep engagement, will eventually create its own value, its own opportunities for profession or payment, even if it takes time or some adaptation. You follow the joy and engagement, and the means might follow the mastery.
Interesting. Okay, but life throws curveballs. It's not all smooth sailing and flow states. The book also talks about resilience, right? How these communities handle the tough times, how they bounce back.
Yes, definitely. And here we get into some really beautiful Japanese philosophical concepts that underpin that resilience. First, there's wabi-sabi.
Wabi-sabi. I've heard that term. Finding beauty in imperfection.
Exactly. It's this aesthetic appreciation for things that are imperfect, impermanent, incomplete. Think of, like, a handmade pot with a slight flaw, or the beauty of aging wood. But it applies to life, too.
Wow.
It teaches acceptance, accepting the flaws in our own growth, the imperfections in our work, even accepting the natural cycles of change and decay in our careers or lives. It's kind of liberating. Really freeing yourself from chasing some impossible ideal of perfection.
Okay, wabi-sabi. Acceptance of imperfection. Then there's another one, Ichigo Ichi. What's that about?
Ichigo Ichi. It translates literally as one time, one meeting.
One time, one meeting.
Yeah. The core idea is to be completely present and to cherish every single moment, every encounter, every experience, treat it as if it's a unique, once-in-a-lifetime event. Because, well, it is.
So it's a powerful antidote to worrying about the future or regretting the past.
Precisely. It locks your focus firmly onto this moment, this interaction right now.
And then, interestingly, the authors bring in something from a completely different tradition, from Stoicism, from ancient Greece. Why did they feel the need to include negative visualization here?
I think it shows they weren't just sticking rigidly to one tradition, they were synthesizing useful tools for living well. Negative visualization is this stoic practice where you consciously, occasionally, imagine losing things you value.
Losing them. Why would you do that?
It sounds counterintuitive, maybe a bit morbid,
A little.
but the purpose is twofold. First, by briefly contemplating the loss of, say, your health or a relationship or even your job, you often come to appreciate those things far more deeply right now while you still have them.
Appreciation through imagined loss.
Right. And second, it kind of mentally prepares you, builds a bit of resilience, makes you less fragile if difficulties do arise later. It's preparation mixed with profound appreciation.
Okay, that makes sense. So we've covered Ikigai, the Okinawan habits, flow, resilience. This brings us to the really practical part. What can someone listening right now actually do to start finding this balance, this Ikigai? What are the actionable strategies?
Strategy number one is pretty straightforward. Actually, sit down with that four-circle Ikigai diagram. Use prompts, maybe from the book or online, and be really honest with yourself about where your time and energy are going versus where those circles might overlap for you.
So self-reflection first. Strategy 2 is about actively seeking out your flow states.
Exactly. Like we discussed, you need to consciously identify those activities, work, or hobbies that consistently make you lose track of time. When you look up and realize hours have passed, pay attention. That's a big clue to what engages you deeply.
Find the things that make time fly. Okay. Strategy 3.
Strategy 3 is about clearing the way. Declutter your life. And this means both physical clutter, getting rid of stuff that doesn't serve you, maybe like the Marie Kondo approach.
Sparks joy. Or sparks Ikigai.
Maybe. But also, importantly, decluttering mentally. Letting go of obligations, worries, or even relationships that consistently drain your energy rather than supporting your purpose.
Makes sense. Get rid of the noise. And strategy 4 ties back to resilience.
Yes. Live in the moment. Practice mindfulness daily. This is the practical application of Ichigo Ichi, consciously bringing your attention back to the present moment to reduce anxiety about what's next or regrets about what's past.
And the final strategy, number 5.
Strategy 5 is a crucial reminder. Start small. Don't feel like you need some massive, life-altering epiphany overnight. Ikigai is often found and nurtured in small, consistent, enjoyable daily rituals and activities. It doesn't have to be some grand, world-changing mission from day one.
Consistency over intensity.
That's a great way to put it. Consistency beats intensity almost every time when building a fulfilling life.
Okay, so if we boil down this profound wisdom from Okinawa, these secrets to a long and happy life, it really seems to rest on a few key pillars, doesn't it?
I think so. Purpose is essential. Having that why. Never stop moving. Stay engaged. Community that moai is vital. It's your safety net. Slow down your pace of life. Eat mindfully. Remember that 80% rule. And cultivate resilience. Accept imperfection. Cherish the now.
It's really a recipe for a sustainable, balanced life built around finding meaning, connection, and those everyday joys.
Absolutely. It's not just about adding years to your life, but adding life to your years, as they say.
Right. And thinking about those concepts of wabi-sabi beauty and imperfection and Ichigo Ichi, cherishing the unique present moment, maybe we can leave you, the listener, with a final thought to mull over.
What's one small thing you can focus on today?
Yeah. Given that life is imperfect and every single moment truly is a one-time meeting, what small, maybe imperfect thing in your world right now will you choose to be fairly present for, to really appreciate, just for today, and maybe even more immediately? What's one small task you could try right now, even for just 5 minutes, that you suspect might put you into that state of flow?
Taking that immediate small action.
That might just be your very next step towards finding your own reason to jump out of bed tomorrow.